Time for game 2 of the North American portion of ECS. And now we're going to have TSM versus 4 men from CLG and the LILMAN. So, I don't know if there's clarity actually, in public at least, if FugLy left the team or if he was removed. Judging by his tweet, like he wrote a tweet saying, oh, like a sad face, I'm no longer on CLG, which gives me the impression that he was kicked by the remainder of the team. But one would expect if you're going to remove a player, you're going to have a player to replace him immediately. Whereas if they choose to leave, then you have a problem. And it seems that at least for now they have a problem in that they have 4 players and a sub. So did he leave or what? We'll get back to that because we've got maps on the screen right now. So we can see the first map's going to be Cash, followed by Overpass with Mirage as a decider, should it be required. We'll go to the maps in a second. FugLy, what's going on?
Did you just call me FugLy? Did you mean to do that? I mean, earlier you called Henry Dan to me on WhatsApp. Then later in the show you called Matt Dan on WhatsApp. Now you're calling Dan FugLy.
I'm not calling Dan FugLy.
What is this? I should hope not. I should hope not, James. Either way, so I feel like this is a hard one to call. Obviously, as you said, there's obviously some. If it's not inner turmoil within the team, perhaps rectified by, as you say,
I like white buttons on the shirt.
A greater scheme that you have now FugLy removed to maybe, because obviously we have to always assume that every move that a team makes is to create a situation where the team can be better or can be, if let's say a team does something, you're expecting that they're going to try to find a way to make them better. So if they, let's say, kick or FugLy gets removed, it's because they want the team to be better. So what is the plan? As you say, like if there's no direct stand-in, it does raise some questions as to what the nature of this actually is. Either way, that will definitely be affecting CLG, and their results haven't been super consistent. Generally speaking, they can be very up and down, online especially. It's on LAN where they've tended to in the past to be a little bit more consistent, and they can always rely on JDM, for example. But in this situation with TSM, having moved to a team house, I'm told, and having a lot more kind of drive and practice under their belts, this actually becomes a winnable series for TSM all of a sudden, potentially, because this is the time to strike, when CLG are off balance. So, and with these first 2 maps, they are maps where I would personally definitely be giving CLG the edge. Typically, if it was CLG with the FugLy on the team, it's the stable CLG, but it's not. So how do you call this one? JDM needs to have a really good game, and he always does, but it needs to be particularly strong to disable TSM's opportunities.
Is there any measurement as to the effectiveness, on average, of a team house on a team?
I don't think that there necessarily is, because it's like with coaching as well, isn't it? A team house can be the absolute right thing for a team. And for some teams, let's say Fnatic, they don't need a team house. Some teams feel like they need to change something. Team house is the easiest thing to change, or in some cases for some teams.
But have we seen any hard evidence, even in interviews, where people said that team house has benefited them? Because I don't know that we have. Apart from fluff, where people say, oh, it's like a fighter saying every fight, I'm in the best shape of my life, that kind of nonsense. And afterwards, like, oh, well, I break my foot in training and all that kind of stuff. They'll say things to give the right answers, but beyond that, which you can normally see through, I don't know. I'm not saying that they're going to be worse, but I'm just saying I don't know if.
I mean, okay, so team houses, as far as Counter-Strike goes, in Europe, we don't have a lot of team houses, generally speaking. But then we're dealing with a kind of a different beast, because Europe, you already have like the best teams, and they're already doing things very, very well. And so for them to get a team house, because obviously the point of the team house is to be completely immersed in the environment of CS, can be immersed into a schedule, be immersed into the game of Counter-Strike, thinking about it night and day, constantly. Whereas if you look at like Fnatic, Astralis, they're players that have a lot going on behind the scenes. They have their own lives, their family, their friends, the girlfriends, maybe just they have their lives that in their respective areas. So they aren't going to want to remove that, because that actually helps them play well. But let's say you're playing catch up. Let's say you're not already the best player in the world, but you need some way to try to bridge that gap of time and experience and position as let's say Fnatic have. I think a team house is a good answer for that. And if you look at, let's say, one place where it's really standard is StarCraft. Brood War, for example, much more I would say than future editions of StarCraft. But so Brood War, you had team houses, and the benefit there is that you can put everyone in a house. You can put, let's say, a practice team in that house as well. So that let's say you have lots of strategies you want to practice. That way you can effectively not show them against anybody else as well, which is really cool. You can have a coach, if he knows what he's doing, he can really help to train the team very well within that environment. I mean, if you look at, for example, with NIP as well, they would always have, if they could, boot camps before. And boot camps is basically like a short version of a team house. Where you get this super intense burst where you can just go over everything super hardcore. But do TSM have the structure, James? Do they have the coach? Do they have the right environment with the team house? Because a place where you can all be together is one thing. But a lot of other stuff has to fit in together to make it actually an experience that will improve you. I
mean, one good thing is, for example, we saw the picture of Threat with the board saying, let's have a look at this and measure all this stuff, and you can all sit around and discuss that. And it's much better to discuss that in person than it is to do it over the internet. And obviously, when you're in person, you're going to have a better respect for someone than if you are online. I think it sucks if you have girlfriends as well, with a team house. I don't think the idea of them is that strong. It sounds cool, but I think in practice maybe.
I think you can have
not so much. But
I think it's very, 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 very hard to be at your best level with a girlfriend. I think it's very hard because I think a lot of I've seen it, or at least I've seen it a lot in some games in the past where you'd have like a top player or a very promising player who starts to get success, starts to get that money, then they get a girlfriend, James. Then they start to not have any more success, or at least the success is limited, or at least the trajectory kind of goes down. And it's partly because the level of time and commitment everyone else is able to put in this highly competitive environment. If you take that time, a lot of your time away because you now have that, you have somebody else in your life that you care about and that you're investing time into, that's less time into the game, and that's more time for your opponents to catch up on you. So that I've seen that be a negative thing in a lot of instances. Again, for some people who already have a super high level, they found a way to make the balance work.
I'll make it work then.
We've seen a lot of players who have done that. It's a lot of very good players in CS:GO that do have girlfriends and still are right at the top of the scene. So there is ways to make it work, but not everyone is capable of doing that.
Bad news if you are a fan of CLG. Hazed's FAC authentication errors continue. And last time we had a game here, I imagine he'll tweet again because they're getting a sub in to replace him. But if it's a VAC authentication. If it's a VAC authentication error, then that's with VAC servers. It's nothing to do with us. But I think he should look at. I don't know what servers VAC authentication goes to, but I think he should email his ISP about this and see if they can see where the problem lies. But Ruru will be replacing Hazed. So this is a question we thought. Okay, so FugLy's not playing, and LILMAN is. But LILMAN's Hazed's personal super sub. So if he's already in, then what happens when Hazed disconnects? And lo and behold, Hazed can't even start the match. So it is going to be Ruru. So at least that's a replacement we're familiar with on this occasion. But LILMAN's been delivering that.
I mean, firstly on the Hazed point, it is a little bit strange that it's such a pervasive issue for him and not for anybody else really. Like to this extent, I mean, surely one has to imagine that there are definitely solutions, and I would also presume that he's been working on solutions. It seems like quite an outlier.
Never presumed that.
It seems like quite an outlier result that let's say, giving the benefit of the doubt, that he has been working hard on solutions, that he cannot find one. That seems quite strange. I mean, you would expect that any number of, just even having, like I said before, like having, a fresh install on a different partition or hard disk with Counter-Strike on that, with that operating system, just to like control the environment, at least from like a software perspective, that should be one of the easiest problem solvers. Just at least to play competitive, to play your league matches. There must be a solution out there, James. I'm still not convinced. But anyway, about LILMAN, LILMAN's been doing quite well. He doesn't really have a professional background, so to speak, but he obviously does play some FPL and he has some good individual performances. But you can see the lack of experience on him. You can see that in certain spots where it's a pretty easy situation where he doesn't have to make many decisions and he's sort of in the right position, that he's going to be able to play well because he's got some good individual skills. But when it comes to the more complicated decisions, when it comes to team play setups and more nuanced tactical gameplay that's supposed to be strong in a team environment, he's not really in the team, so you're not going to see that so much. So it's definitely going to be a weakness. And again, this TSM should be able to really take advantage here. They might just win this 2-0 at this rate, James. I'm not confident right now for CLG.
Yeah, so CLG with 3 of their normal players, Ruru and LILMAN. We will see what they can do. I think this is going to be pretty damn difficult for the CLG side, or at least this should. Again, SEMPHIS has been calling for the TSM team recently as well. Winning the range duel there. JDM going to get taken down with the Glock, so not the start that CLG wanted. Cutler trying to do what he can to bring this back for his team, but too many people pushing on his position. LILMAN and A main now will take Twistzz down. Very patient shooting by him. There goes autimatic as well, so he's kept CLG in with a fighting chance. SEMPHIS though will take him down.
But here comes Tarik. Great first opener from him to create that 1v1, but the bomb will be planted, guaranteeing the 3rd round AKs or guaranteeing the force by next round if they want to go for it, but that's going to be their pop. A sidestep and a critical blow struck to win the round for TSM thanks to SEMPHIS, leading by example. 3 kills in that pistol round, 2 for Sick as well. Sick and Twistzz, players that have done quite well in some recent TSM matches, and I'm very curious to see any improvement from TSM's anti-ecos and anti-force buys. One of the easiest rounds to prepare, even if, let's say, the execution's a little bit off, you can at least see what they're trying to do and see if they're on the right tracks. Execution comes with time and experience and practice, but I just want to see them doing the right things. Now, I can see so far they're holding the sort of default here. Very passive towards T-spawn, looking into B storage, perhaps on the sign. In T-warehouse, very passive as well. And also on door. Now, what you would expect is to see them all come together at some point, or to have a player look for information who's got one of the SMGs to see if there is a stack, and have the other players perhaps on another side of the map trying to look for the set piece in there. Now, you can just go for the set piece blind. You don't have to find information with it, but you do need to throw the mollies and get them in the good places and move in as a unit. And now we can start to see TSM converging, although Sick is isolated here in middle, and he's tagged down very low. He's going to be very careful here not to give the AK away, but he's going to die. The AK is up for grabs, but here goes the side take.
So autimatic with the UMP, I was going to say it was holding angles, but he's been shot through the box stand. So there is a man advantage, but a thin one. Twistzz down to 11 HP here as Rude tries to play close to the smoke. We'll see if he can find any players. Twistzz is playing under the boost position, and Rue may find him. Indeed, he'll take him down for free. So 2 versus 1 now. FNS, the last man standing, versus a scout on a CZ, and he's going to have to be wary of that CZ especially. There it goes, leaving the scout alone. That's Tarik, and he'll need to have 2 tags. There's 1, but needs a bit more than that. He's got a pistol out. Can't finish things off here. FNS will save an AK at the very least. An expensive round for TSM. To be honest with you, I didn't expect much from an anti-eco, especially with SEMPHIS calling, which is a recent change.
Yep.
I didn't. Well, that's no surprise, but they survived that. That's the important thing.
Yeah, no.
I mean, what I mean by that is I didn't expect any like intricate executes onto a site on an anti-eco.
I think they, I think again, I think what I said previously, I feel like that was the signs of a good anti-force buy there from them. Perhaps the execution could be a bit tighter, but I think they were doing the right things more or less. Maybe the API taking mid might have been something to think about perhaps in the future, but either way, TSM playing that anti-eco round, the pure eco coming in from CLG, and it must feel good for FNS to give it to his old team. As we saw him clutching the last round 1 versus 2 at the end with the MP7, and now...
Did Sick run out of bullets?
I don't know.
It looks like he ran into CT. There's not many bullets in the magazine and ran out of bullets. That's not good.
Well, it's going to be 3-0. TSM winning that round with only 1 loss. So far so good for TSM, and now it's down to the pure rifle buy of CLG to see if they can take this one away from TSM. I wonder how CLG will actually opt to play this with Rue and LILMAN, because there's 2 stand-ins essentially, right? It's funny because you actually basically said this was going to happen earlier as well. It's like we knew that LILMAN was going to stand in.
Yeah.
And you're like, Dan,
who's going to play for hazed?
Who's going to basically replace LILMAN as the stand-in of hazed?
Yeah. He's going to be the everyman for hazed. Hazed personal sub. Well, it turns out that today it's going to be Ruru. So both teams on the bye now.
Shouldn't they be paying LILMAN at this point?
Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't announced him as. Well, timing pick by SEMPHIS there, and down goes JDM. So we've got Molotovs flying into the vent. There is a player outside of B actually, and it looks like they were holding an angle to punish somebody coming out of the vent, which is great to see. Something we inexplicably don't see so often anymore. And they've since moved back, so 50 seconds left. TSM pushing B. The rotation should come in towards A for the CT side, but they've only got 3 players left to do it with. Cutler getting shot through the smoke here. It's going to get taken down before he knows anything about it, leaving Tarik and Ryu alone versus 5. So I think they want to go for the save here because the retake seems very unlikely indeed.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And this is really cool too, because if TSM, let's say, have Cache as one of their maps which they want to be really good at, and they've been practicing it, they've been running lots of strategies and talking about it a lot and setting up a lot of stuff for it, I would love to see TSM basically kind of put on somewhat of a masterclass on CLG, because CLG have to rely a lot on the basics and individual skill because they are essentially playing with 2 stand-ins. That is really, really disruptive to their normal operations. And you know, JDM is JDM, but he can only do so much for a team. Now, TSM, again, in the fact that there's so much disruption on CLG, they should be in a position where they can play this series exactly how they want to play, because it's going to be hard for CLG to deny them. It just comes down to TSM, you know, it's us seeing their structure or the new structure that they may have put in place and seeing them execute it effectively against the stand-in mania of CLG. But they have forced CLG back to another eco. Of course, there are some saved weapons. And let's have a look and see how TSM will play this one. There is a push into A main, which they shall soon discover, perhaps. Ooh, yeah, there it is. Tarik going close, in fact. He's waiting for the stun cues.
He's got a teammate holding an angle from the entrance of main as well. So it seems that he's playing a bit of a blind spot. Ooh, Cutler. Speaking of blind spots, with the CZ getting in there, putting in work. 6 to trade though. Tarik making his presence known, but no frags for him yet. The bomb is in an awkward position, however. And that's not the best angle for autimatic, unfortunately. Nature of the beast. The squeaky door. These new events, actually, if you get close to them, like right in the right corner, looking towards T-spawn, where 6 just run into, they really block a lot of vision. I don't know why they were changed. I feel like they were changed when taking change them, but like, that a bit later on. Sick and Twistzz coming in with 2 fast frags. LILMAN goes down, leaving Rua 4 HP, and Tarik left for the CLG side versus 3. FNS and Sick are tagged to different levels. So there's still work to be done here for the CLG side, but you have to wonder how much they will do. Wow, Rue went from 4 HP down to 2 HP. He lost half his life. Wow.
Yeah, and he's going to get out of there, save again. And CLG will have a nice buy in the next round. But yeah, generally well handled by TSM. I feel like, you know, the autimatic should have been able to get that frag onto Rue, to be honest, from the door, because, or at least there were some opportunities for some cool plays there, due to the fact that they realized, obviously, because the presence was made known as there were battles being taken from the CTs kind of deep into A main, that there was an opportunity to kind of go out of the door, basically. And perhaps, you know, autimatic could have found a better engagement. I think when we saw him commit to the engagement there, I actually feel like staying alive would have done more damage, because after showing yourself once, and you knew there were 2 CTs there, he has a very unfavorable engagement. But it's one of those spots where you kind of don't change your decision making despite the situation changing. I think we've all done that, because you really had your heart and your mind set on one play, then something happens to make it bad. But either way, you'll have the next round playing out here. TSM against that good buy of CLG. Nice counter grenades actually to deny them the aggression through to A main, and actually it's done a very critical damage here, but still they're going to go forwards. Dulken spot this, spraying wildly, finds the headshot onto LILMAN. Cutler gets taken out as well by autimatic. He was on 6 HP or something, so a 4 versus 3 opener for TSM. They must be loving it.
Yeah, it's a good start from them. Down goes JDM, so 2 plays left. Rue coming in from the back, he's going to get traded as well, so 3 versus 1. And this should be another fast round here from TSM. We'll see if Tarik can do anything about it. We've still got a player in mid for him to find, although he's now gone to pick up the bomb. and take it over towards A. What on earth was I saying before? I'm trying to remember now. But it seems Tarik's going to go for it. The bomb's not down yet, so he definitely will continue on his journey. Slightly moving over to the right in a wall of smoke. We'll see if he can use that to his advantage. Bomb gets planted. Just using the gaps there, trying to find whatever he can for minimal risk. But the angles will be too great down and he will get taken down by Twistzz. So a solid 6-0 for TSM.
Yeah, there's been some bumps in the ride along the way, but generally speaking, they've created enough opportunities within the rounds to, within the round, actually create a buffer in case there are mistakes on execution or otherwise. And back to the AWPs, JDM and Tarik, and one thing that TSM will likely realize is that one of the ways that they can lose this match is if JDM goes off, and JDM does tend to go off. That's kind of what he does. He essentially, I think, has been the best AWPer in North America for some time. And or at least I feel confident to say that from his performances. With Skadoodle on the still on the slump and in many ways compared to the advantage he spawned last year. And Kuster not necessarily living up to some of the hype just yet. And TSM getting up against two players here towards A, very close. Even the push coming in, so Cutler going for it there. Autimatic guns him down. This is not a good way to start around like this, and they're going to get a set piece in their face on the A bomb side. Nazer down. Oh, this looks bad here for CLG.
Yeah, TSM thriving on the bedlam of this round. Tarik, though, still bringing some responses in. Man advantage, and he will be stuck behind those smokes for a while. Or will he? It's taken down by autimatic, leaving JDM alone. Not much he can really do in this situation, apart from trying to save the gun, which aggression may be the best form of defense for them in the meantime. But he'll start to move away now. So 7-0 to TSM. And CLG definitely not in this game, but at this point with 2 subs essentially, can you even call him CLG?
Absolutely, that's the issue. And again, I do wonder if TSM thought this. Okay, guys, this is a matchup where, again, the way that the opponents win this is if their AWPs are hitting all their shots. If JDM is getting an opportunity to fire his AWP a lot. What you'll notice is that JDM has had an AWP in multiple rounds. He has 1 frag. And you can credit it to the way that TSM have played the rounds, which is more or less, I would say, if you're taking that approach and trying to disable the JDM, that's what you go with those set pieces. You go with those explosive plays with all the smokes down. You take the bomb site and force JDM to either retake or just not be able to see anything on the defense. So far, so good here for TSM, looking to make it a quick 8-0 against the poor buy here of CLG, but actually it's going to be JDM to pick up the mid kill. And TSM start the round with an unlikely disadvantage.
SEMPHIS setting up for the forklift smoke. While the team trying to slow things down here. So Boost comes in and Rue gets traded. SEMPHIS will be the one to be disposed of. But again, look at the buy here for CLG. Even with the man advantage, they've only got 2 players with rifles and one of them is on a scout and no armor. So definitely a less than ideal situation here for the CLG side, looking to get their first round on the board. There goes the LILMAN in the mid area. You can see Cutler has pushed through the door, and Twistzz going to get taken down with a knife in his hand, and that's a bomb spotted, which means a rotation can come in for the CTs here, and it's close enough that Cutler can try and play with the CZ and do more damage. Automatics picked up the bomb, but he's got 5 HP, and he needs to get into a safe spot there. Cutler comes out again, and Automatic finds a frag now. But again, he's on 5 HP versus 2. 35 seconds left on the clock, and we might see CLG with their first round on the board here. Automatic needs to find heads. Getting close to 25 seconds. JDM going to find him just as Automatic looks away, and CLG make it 1-7.
Yeah, they win that round, but the hard part is not over yet. They lost quite a few players there, so the almost full rebuy will commence. You can see that only 2 guns were saved, so 6k on JDM, but only $3,000 on Tarik. So it'll be quite detrimental for them to lose this round. It does mean that they can't properly buy in the following. So we shall see whether or not TSM can cripple them here with a well-placed B round. Good entry from SEMPHIS, takes down Tarik. In comes JDM from heaven, Looking for the first shot, denied though, as autimatic holds down the flank momentarily. And JDM, we look to JDM for something here to get his team back into this round. Pushes down a Molotov, which will send FNS back out of position, but there is no way in to this B bomb side, not anytime soon. Still way too many grenades. In fact, there are lots of grenades left still. We've got 3 flashes, a smoke, and a Molotov. That's going to buy a lot more time. CLG don't want anything to do with it, and they will fall back. If they can save these 3 guns, they can easily buy next round. The only situation where they can't buy next round is if all 3 players die, I think. I think even if one survives, they can still scrap together a buy, as JDM has 6k in the bank.
Well, all the CTs appear to be towards Squeaky and a main, and that is exactly where these Ts are headed. So they're going to get sandwiched. Let's see if any of them manage to survive. LILMAN's going to get taken down, as is Cutler. So it's JDM with the AWP, and that's the first guy you want to take down in this situation. He's going to be the last guy standing for CLG. So we'll see if he can mount a defense in this round. He can drop to a teammate, so Tarik can buy as well.
Yeah, you can actually drop 2 FAMASs if he wants.
Oh, this is a really late deployment of weaponry, which means that nobody's going to have a good spawn for anything. They'll have to bank on a slow round from TSM. Looks like TSM may be going for a wall of smokes in mid. Well, never mind that. SEMPHIS is just going to come in with a big green gun and do the damage. Big flash coming in for the CTs, but they need frags. Flashes won't do it. Won't be enough. So we've got the double ops onto CLG and Cutler on the M4, but it will be LILMAN with the P250 to take down SEMPHIS.
Yeah, you can always count on SEMPHIS with the big man peaks. But he and also autimatic keeping the wrath of that LILMAN P250. There you go. Looks like solid chances here now for CLG after the initial turmoil in middle. LILMAN looking for more, holding it down in mid so far. Facing versus 2 players in the 3 versus 2 situation. Now that's a situation whereby you don't want to commit to the fight. You just want that info. And you want to force the Ts to make a mistake, because the bomb sites are still held here. If you can just keep the what is known for their positions, or keep the knowledge of their positions rather, I should say, then that's the big win there. Oh dear, Tarik missing that shot, gets the no-scope though. And now it's down to Finesse, as he runs into the bomb site, and he will find it is sorely lacking a CT presence, and he seems to know this, as he has gone for quite an open plant, very defensible from main, which might be the first spot that they look to with a plant like that. So if he stays hidden the entire time, he might be able to capitalize on them checking main first, but we shall see.
So both CTs on the site now. Meaty HE comes in. Tarik jumping all over the place when they get spotted, but Rue will trade, so CLG get their second round on the board. Only surviving with 1 player though. You have to wonder if TSM will choose to force up, as they have a great opportunity to break the CT economy. Once again, I say force up down, they've got plenty of money. Yeah. They're going to go straight in for the big buy.
Yeah, and again, only 2 players survived in the previous round for CLG, so despite winning the round, their buy is awful. In fact, it is quite lacking. I mean, you've got a FAMAS and not even a rifle, just a 5.7 on Tarik. But you just got to find the right position. And Tarik is probably one of the best players on the server to be in a position with just a pistol, I have to say, if he is in good shape today. So passive start to the round here for CLG. A light presence on A. In fact, that is the weak point, but they've put their strongest link in that position. JDM with the AWP. He's got fast rotation in support if they do attack him suddenly from LILMAN on short. That is his direct and the most immediate support. Then it would be Rue, as we can see there, if there is to be a fast A play, which could be brewing right now. We've got TSM slowly shuffling towards that position of A main. Now, JDM, if he gets the first kill, would enjoy the chances, or like the chances rather, for CLG to hold the site. But here we go, the first challenges. Last time SEMPHIS won the 1 versus 1. This time he's got a lot of support in nades. JDM knows it's coming, catches SEMPHIS with a nade in his hand. That's not how you want to do it. And it looks like autimatic to trade back. Taking down a teammate in the process, not going to help.
Yeah, CLG appear to have momentum on their side now. Oh, sick, just LILMAN to finish off Twistzz. 4 players surviving for CLG. And again, this is another map where they may claw back quite a reasonable score on the CT side, but first they'll have to face another buy from TSM, who you know, the train seems to be slowing down now. Maybe CLG are figuring out how to react, how to answer to the aggression of TSM. So how can TSM switch things up now and keep their lead, extend their leads, keep their opponents guessing? Got JDM ready to push the squeaky door here, and the T's will need to be wary. We know how dangerous that man is with a AWP, with an AWP. Sick holding passively towards long B, rather. All the way almost from T-spawn.
JDM's going in though. Boom! Autimatic is down. But the trade, well, rather not really a trade, but a frag comes in for mid to equalize the numbers. And it's very telegraphed at this point that the B play is coming. But CLG don't have the full information just yet. So they're going to have to rely on the defenders. And it's just going to be Tarik basically, because I think that his teammate's been smoked off. Yeah, he has to go up to heaven. And there it is, Tarik getting seemingly easy shots, finishing off the C's with ease, as he is now dealing with a few blind players, and it is very, very good here for Tarik so far. And in comes the cavalry. Blue feels confident to just dive in there, as there are so many T's dead. And that is the 4-8. So a string of rounds here for CLG. Counterlogic Gaming with a resurgence, but how far does it go?
Only time will tell. So one more buy coming out for TSM. Now let's see if they can field better execution on this particular round than the previous ones. Bombs being left close to T warehouse, so carried by the players. There's initial Molotovs coming in to stop any fast plants, but there are many bodies over towards A main. If you are playing close mid, then you would have heard them go in. Always be wary if you're dropping the bomb around main that you can hear it from mid. So it seems TSM looking to go for a fast play here. LILMAN gets a 1 versus 1 with the bomb, no less. Twistzz falls. The bomb is on the floor. Absolutely no answer from TSM whatsoever. Players trying to push the fight now. LILMAN still alive in the back. Finally gets taken down. Cutler's taken down as well. Tarik has an interesting spot towards the site itself. Pop flash is coming in. Won't be flashed for long. More smokes. We're looking to push as well. Down goes SEMPHIS. Not a two-man spray down, no. FNS will trade, even in a 3 versus 2. The bomb's still not planted, though.
Yeah, awkward situation. There are lots of spots to, opportunities to throw the bomb into SEMPHIS, who's been on the spot for like the entire duration of this push at this point. But finally the bomb is planted. How much will that delay matter here? We've got the 2 CTs remaining, Tarik and JDM, just knocking at the door of the bomb site with the AWPs. Is an effective way to knock. Clever, I saw one, and Tarik there finding that body shots onto more than one player, leaving himself now in a 1 versus 1, a very, very winnable situation. Tarik will tap the bomb to force out Sick, but will he buy it? Looks like he goes straight into the reticle of Tarik's 5-7, and there is the defuse. CLG pick up and yet another round, and that, it feels like, must be 4 in a row at this point.
Yeah, it seems that TSM have been figured out, and they perhaps don't know what to do to get their edge back, or maybe it's just small vacuums deciding which way these rounds will ultimately go. Either way, double AWPs coming out for the CLG side, and no AWPs on to TSM, so SEMPHIS will be somewhat hamstrung in this round, at least until he picks up a AWP, if he chooses to do so, if he gets the opportunity to do so, rather. So, TSM moving over towards A main once again. This time CLG are not putting anybody on the site itself. They're trying to play away as far as possible. Perhaps having a... Well, actually, I will not speculate as to why. But again, we have Sick over towards T spawn, looking towards B. And the rest of the team holding angles, maybe looking for JDM, maybe afraid of JDM. I'd be afraid of JDM. Gotta be afraid of LILMAN as well, taking down Sick in mid.
Yeah, just winning with the position there. I mean, LILMAN had a risk in what position he took, but the gamble actually was the correct one in this instance, as it is like the anti-main position, or anti-push from the warehouse. But here comes the push from TSM, speaking of pushes, straight into the A site there. FNS very delicately placing flashes with the smoke as he makes his way straight onto a quick tap onto Rue, actually. Only got time to shoot 1 bullet, but he made it count. Now it's a 2 versus 3 situation. Make that a 2 versus 2 TSM equalizing situation, but LILMAN going in fast and trying to go in strong, but it will end up being rather weak in the face of the SEMPHIS AK-47. But Tarik back in there, looking to make a clutch similar to the previous round. 1 versus 1, 5-7 out. There's the flick. It's going to be Twistzz with the kill. And finally, after a long stretch of wins, 4 in fact, TSM managed to bring one back home. But it was a round that could have gone either way in the end. And so definitely does lend some justice to what you said, as perhaps CLG to some extent have found a more effective way to read TSM and their play.
Well, CLG going for the force, which is 1 rifle, a bunch of nades, and a pencil and a twig down. So 3 players in mid for the CT side, looking to get that early boost on. They are the ones who Molotoved as well. We've got FNS just waiting for them to emerge. Tagging Tarik down to 24, but Tarik will win the duel with that 1M4 on the CT side. So he's done his job, and he will rotate it elsewhere. In fact, he's going to give the M4 to LILMAN. The LILMAN, Dan. The LILMAN with the plan who can.
Yeah, he's in a strong position with the M4. Got a lot to do, though, to make it work. And, oh, this is interesting. Where will SEMPHIS look? Flick. Oh, my goodness. Great flick there from SEMPHIS. And autimatic strolls in, finds the immediate headshot onto Cutler, and only more success will follow here for TSM as they lose only 1 player, making it a 10-5 half, which is a very strong way to start it all off if you are TSM on cash. And I have to say, they've got really great chances in this series, and if they're starting off strong like this, it's very encouraging, I have to say, in their potential. And they did look quite confident going into this one. We saw a lot of structure to the rounds from TSM as well. So in combination with them hitting their shots and not being as Rambo as they used to be, a lot of it previously was just SEMPHIS, basically the pressure on him with the AWP trying to find the pick. Something that I saw from NRG a lot in cash, where they have this like heavy pick style approach, no matter what they're facing, even if they're facing better equipment for picking, let's say like 5 AWPs, you can still find them trying to pick with their 1 AWP or their 2 AWPs. So it's great to see that TSM have a lot more structure going on. And CLG, they're going to be in for a tough time now.
Yeah, 10-5, 10 rounds on the TSMT side. That is less than stellar for the CLG team. And obviously with 3 members of their normal lineup here, things are only going to get more difficult for them as the evening continues. Speaking of which, we are into the pistol now in the second half of map 1 of this best of 3, the final best of 3 of the evening today. Points getting ever more important. So CLG 5 to the 10 of TSM. You see TSM with with a flash, a smoke, a Molotov, and a defuse kit. That's being shared by FNS and Twistzz. So TSM playing retake over towards the A site. We have, I think Tarik's going for the information play over there, but the bomber pistol be going towards B. Hasn't really caused the rotation, rather, for the C side. And again on Dust 2, you can also wait for the bomb to get planted here and then try and make a break for it. Let's see if you can frag anybody. So SEMPHIS has a teammate in tow. That might cause problems for the T side.
Yeah, they get the entry straight away too. So this actually sucks right now for CLG. They got to hit some crazy headshots because the CTs have good positioning. That's usually the spot that's hard to play from, but CLG fragging straight back, leaving it in a 1 versus 2. It's doable here for Ru. He picks up the kill onto autimatic. Now, oh, that should be the GG incendiary right there. And I think Ru picked that up off of a CT as well. So Ru killed a CT, he picked up his incendiary, and then won the round with it. That is the GGs right there.
Unless the GG Molotov.
Unless the T's can buy incendiaries, which they can't. They have Molotovs. So interesting stuff.
Yeah, nicely done by Ru, knows his stuff. Sick on the scouts, and now it's TSM's turn to suffer financial trauma, financial turmoil.
But what kind of anti-force buy can you expect from CLG with 2 standards? Rush B no score. That's what I would do, Jace, with 2 standards. Around like this. I'm actually kind of serious as well, because if you just throw the mollies in the most dangerous spots, It's pretty good. Pretty good going. Get a fast round in there, but they are playing a bit more default. RCLG. Looks like they will end up on B regardless, though.
Yeah, they need to make this count. CLG have Kevlar helmets, pistols. SEMPHIS trying to hide for as long as possible, but his entire body will be exposed to Tarik on the side of the bomb site there, which means the bomb will be going down, planted for checkers. This is not where FNS is standing. So it seems these last 3 players with their armor Kevlar helmet will go for the save versus the Great Bomb. And its cohort stand, its assailants.
Yeah, so very simple stuff. CLG playing out the correct round in the end, which is a good call by them, and TSM deciding that a save of their CZs and Kevlars and helmets is the correct play, and indeed it is. I mean, in some respects, you know, the investment into the next round for them, they could have even just decided to, if they didn't take any armor damage, which I don't think they did, yeah, they could just get the upgrade, but it is $350. I don't know if it's worth it, because as you can see, if you go for the 4-span that first round, your money is actually very low going into the 4th round. So I definitely like that we won't see a helmet here from autimatic. Now, let's see if TSM can pick up some extra frags where they were not able to do so in the previous round. But CLG, I think they should just go for basically the same round. Nice default into a B push with an ace. Very simple, very effective. Looks like the fight will be taken to them though, and this might just force the issue towards B regardless.
Yeah, CLG forcing the aggression now. Making sure there are no dodgy hiding places here, but it's still one more to find, which is autimatic. And Rue will take him down, so autimatic's body giving the game away for him. So Rue coming in to do what Six could not, leaving 2 CTs behind.
By the way, I love the first Molotov we saw goes into the spot in the corner directly below the vent. And one of the reasons why that Molotov is the most key first Molotov instead of the crate is because you can peek the crate, as we saw, safely without exposing yourself. But you cannot peek that position without exposing yourself. The entire point of that position is that it's kind of like a crossfire with the guy on headshot. Because if the guy on headshot starts shooting you as you're running to try to look at that angle in below the vents, then you're going to shoot that guy, and then the guy from there pops out and just kills everybody. And we've seen that happen many, many times. It's a very, very standard kind of setup. So that it's great to see that, you know, that level of detail there from CLG. And now TSM though, they'll be able to buy the AWP onto SEMPHIS, who did save some extra cash just so he could get Kevlar with it as well. And the rest of TSM on rifles, but not all the grenades they would like, but it should have to do for now. One thing to note, no kit at all. That can often be a round losing issue.
Yeah, I believe we saw it much earlier on in this match, where it was a bit of a problem. So Team CLG are going for a set execute onto the A site here. autimatic is in a position to boost or stand on the light above Squeaky. I'm sure boost would be preferable. So we've got the quad smoke coming in. We've seen some Molotovs go to the dirty corner there. And indeed, autimatic will make himself known now, but Tarik's going to take him down straight away. SEMPHIS has taken Rue down elsewhere though. So trying to hold a passive angle. And there it is, Wiley gets naded, going to force his way out of the smoke here. Got players coming in for the high ground, but they're going to be flashed off. So there's only so much that can be done in this situation. 2 versus 2 though. CT's coming from short.
Yeah, but JDM's still alive. The problem is they need to actually plant this bomb, and the CTs have to be careful not to overstep. Because when the bomb goes down, that's a player in a position that they realize, and they'll actually gang up on Tarik now. So, oh, look at this. JDM pulling out the P250, able to take down one. Does find Finesse as well. This is such a weird position right now because Finesse just wants to get into a safe spot, but he's going to be able to take down JDM. Again, very awkward position, and TSM trying to engage. And in a lot of spots, you're going to see the CTs not engage until they hear the bomb plant sound, because that tells them where one of the Ts is, and that means that at that very moment, unless it's a pure fake, they get a 2 versus 1 if there's the other player is to peek them, or they gain ground for the cost of planting the bomb. So lots going on there, but it will be TSM with the round and SEMPHIS with the aggressive peek very close here towards the storage, and there are a lot of players there.
Starting to back away now. Other CCs. But there's still a 1 in vent at the moment. So we'll see what role he has to play in this. So he's holding an angle. So finally, somebody gets taken down. That's LILMAN with the bomb on the site. SEMPHIS, FNS going for a 2-man spray down. Will only be the 1. Now things are made a 3 versus 3. Stick coming in from the top, but what else can he do here? Gets taken down by Tarik before he can retreat. 2 versus 2. Bit of a crossfire between Tarik and his teammate, autimatic. And SEMPHIS will be looking to come in as autimatic, leaving Cutler alone, having bereaved him. So autimatic and SEMPHIS. Time is on their side for the moment, but neither is carrying a kit. Maybe there's one on the site itself. They'll move together to try to trade. Worst case scenario, down goes SEMPHIS, so leaving autimatic, and he will get the frag and should have time to defuse the bomb as well. TSM finally back to winning ways. Indeed, they will have time to get that bomb down. To defuse it, sorry.
Two massive impact frags there from autimatic and also from SEMPHIS, because SEMPHIS got the first kill through the smoke. And then what that did was that meant the bomb dropped. So that meant then the player who didn't want to move onto the site then had to go and pick up the bomb and try to get it onto the site. And then whilst that was happening, Sick perhaps realized this, he pushed heaven and caught this player out of position, killed him, bomb was dropped again. That meant another player was now away, not able to support the vent room. autimatic comes in, gets a 1-on-1. Like so many situations, small situations there, impactful frags from TSM, but looks like they go with a door push here. I don't think they've shown this just yet, and looks like Tarik has a defensive position for this, so surely Twistzz loses his head in his position. Tarik has designed himself to deal with that, but he's going to go down despite expecting aggression, having the superior position and superior weapon. That is not a good situation for Tarik and the CLG side. And with that aggression and the quick pick, TSM can now just sit back to default setup and hope to rely upon the advantage of the men and give up the potential advantage that would happen if they took a risk and got some more information.
So what can CLG do with this man disadvantage? About a minute on the clock here. LILMAN should be opening the door soon. I think he might be setting up to smoke quad for his team. Again, it's always a bit of a double-edged sword when you smoke quad because you have to breach it to get the bomb down in those cases. So in fact, he'll be going for the short smoke there. Should spot autimatic up high. Autimatic going to reset his position, but going to get caught out looking towards main there. So a 4 versus.
His teammate picked it up immediately to save him. So brilliant hold there from TSM. CLG now struggling to even buy. In fact, they're just going to have to go for a bit of a quasi instead and get themselves on a quick plant perhaps to reinforce their buy, in which they'll have in the
favor of TSM now.
Yeah, great AWPing from SEMPHIS, great support from his teammates as well. And the one shot that he did miss, his teammate picked it up immediately to save him. So brilliant hold there from TSM. CLG now struggling to even buy. In fact, they're just going to have to go for a bit of a quasi instead and get themselves on a quick plant perhaps to reinforce their buy, in which they'll have in the following round. So no grand expectation from them in this one, but you never know. And I like how TSM are playing right now. They're playing a bit of a retake, in fact. Although that said, I mean, I thought autimatic would play further back, but now he's moving close just as the push comes in. And of course, this has now been spotted. Let's see if they can hold on to this bomb site. Looks like it's not going particularly well for them so far, as the bomb will be planted and autimatic lost. But in comes Sick there, taken down from the side, and all of a sudden, it is in favor of CLG with the men. Here comes the well-equipped SEMPHIS and Twistzz. It's pretty good indeed. Just one player left alive. And there you go. Frag made by SEMPHIS. And that is all she wrote in this round.
Who better than SEMPHIS to clutch through the carnage? 27 frags. He is far above everybody else on the server at present. 2 rounds away from game 1 as well, TSM.
Yeah, there's a reason why we always talk about SEMPHIS. It's not for no reason.
SEMPHIS is indeed the man, or at least one of the men. So 8-14 now. TSM have almost doubled the score of CLG at this point. CLG have a pretty good buy. They got the bomb down. They've got tons of Molotovs, full nades, full buy from them. Moving 2 towards Squeaky on this occasion. There is a player forklift. That is sick. Again, there's 2 in, well, 3 now towards A. The bomb's been left, though, in T warehouse. So I wonder what the players from the CLG players on the A bomb site, or maybe it's going to be a fake in one direction or another. Seems that Vents is going to be taken in B by CLG, and then they're going to boost a player out of Vents into mid. So the bomb might be collected and taken over towards the A site.
There you go, quick peek from Sick. Oh, looking to get a double, but LILMAN shuts him down. Good timing there from Tarik, but a trade immediately from autimatic. So fast response here from the CTs, but that does come at a cost because it means that Cutler gets his freebie straight up short. No one to watch short there for the CTs as it was abandoned. Or the flick from SEMPHIS this time. Doesn't land. Oh my goodness, what's going on? We see from Rue's perspective, 2 of his teammates standing side by side, getting blown away by FNS, who's now going for the long man rotation. Don't know what long man rotation means. Long rotation by man, perhaps, would be a more accurate way to go with that sentence. But round 1 by TSM, regardless. And this is good that the bomb did go down for CLG to just get the extra nades on players like JDM, who are quite poor. But otherwise, TSM 1 away now, and they're up against the strong buy.
Right then, so CLG will continue to pile on the pressure, although really the pressure is on them at the moment. TSM on the cusp of a shock victory here, perhaps in game 1 of this best of 3. Just for whoever played, Hayes has back authentication errors, so he will not be playing today. And because FugLy is no longer in the team, LILMAN is playing for that. So TSM with some aggression over towards the bomb site, and then Nade will finish things off there for Cutler. That could be his last bullet in this particular game of this best of 3 again. SEMPHIS misses a shot somehow onto JDM, and the T's might think that's an MTT bomb site. LILMAN gets taken down in mid. Rue gets traded by Twistzz. So we've got a 3 versus 1, although the 1 is JDM, which can be like having 6 on certain other teams. Sees Twistzz, but not fast enough, and he will get taken down. So 16-8. TSM finished with double the score of CLG. I mean, I don't know how much there is really for us to say about CLG, at least, where they have 2 subs, but what can we say about TSM?
I mean, well, there is more structure in the team. I think that's fairly clear. You can see there's a bit more of a, I would say a bit more of a leash on SEMPHIS. You know, usually we would see him going for more risky plays, but we do see, at least in this matchup, and I kind of pointed this out earlier on as well, that the way that you win this matchup is by taking less risks, because they don't need to take them, because you're going to see more mistakes from a team which has 2 stand-ins, and you can just abuse the mistakes as they come in, or the lack of coordination, or maybe the more inconsistent execution you'll see. Just that's where you can get your advantages. You don't need to go full God mode SEMPHIS or past the SEMPHIS, you know, where you're going for these like really risky peaks. And a lot of the time he can hit them, but it's the times when he doesn't hit them where that maybe his team's economy is a little bit off balance, and then it can just send everything into chaos. But what we saw here was we didn't really see that. All we saw was SEMPHIS doing a good job playing pretty steadily. We didn't see anything crazy, no ridiculous risks, no ridiculous pug style play, and that we're so used to seeing. So that's encouraging, and that's what they have to do to beat CLG. And moving on to overpass, they're going to need that, because CLG typically were a pretty good overpass team with JDM especially, but it is quite a tactical map, a very nuanced map, a lot of stuff going on in there. You can't just play the pug styles, so it's going to be interesting to see if TSM have done their homework here as well.
Well, we will get into that in more depth after the break. Map 2 will be overpass. We'll see you back here in a few minutes.